What's happening? What's happening, everybody? This is another edition of the C.J.C. Hood News with your boy King Calvin Jones Jr., aka King Cal Cutter on the up and up, man. I basically want to chop it up with you and let you know about the movement, man. The C.J.C. Hood News movement, about getting that news to the people, that need it the most. I mean, they said we destroyed for the lack of knowledge. And, as I was just on the C.J.C. Hood News page and searching for other stages and pages and stuff like that to help other people on and stuff, I came across a couple of different disturbing little news, segments from other news sources and stuff, just looking at the stories and stuff like that. And I was surprised to see, culture of people, either it was true or it wasn't true. We don't know sometimes because it looked like it's an epidemic sometimes when stuff are happening. But there was a story about two girls, well, that's what it looked like. They manhandled him pretty much. So, and then you got another one where a guy was with a cow, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, come on, man. You don't even want to drink milk no more. Milk does a body good. But after you see the fact that what folks really, it's not saying that everybody's doing that. Hopefully not, you know what I'm saying? Manipulating the fact of the matter of everything. Like, look, dude, that's outrageous for you to enjoy it and then have somebody to put it on video at that, man. And then we wonder why we face the penalties and stuff like that. We don't see all of that other stuff that bring us into captivity and things of that nature, man. That stuff bring you under subjection, dude. And it's like, I seen some of them stories that was heading off and everything. I'm like, man, is that the way it really goes down nowadays? You mean to tell me that that's the thought pattern of folks nowadays? That, you really want to adapt to that type of lifestyle to the point that you get ready to go, outside of, female, where you probably get a female, but it had to be a female horse or a cow at that. It was, they said it was a cow, but a cow, it does have a tail like that, look like a horse, but rather it was an animal. You know what I'm saying? You don't mix like that with no animal, man, to the point, that you miss the use of a natural female, dude. That's just outrageous. I mean, like, till you go to the point that you got a strong delusion, so strong that you go from the woman to an animal, like a physical animal, like, and then enjoy it at that time and think there's no consequence for that. God didn't intend for, regardless to whatever God you claim to be up under, he didn't claim for you to go with a female animal, like, per se, actual animal, you know what I'm saying? One that don't talk and don't do nothing. For you to do that, man, it's like, whoa, this is like bogus, man. I mean, like, strictly bogus. Like, now I can see why certain people feel a certain way, because after you see some stuff like that, you like, man, come on, what's really happening? On the up and up, we talk about all this other stuff, but what leads up to that? We act like we don't know what really go down on the up and up, so we just try everything. And that should not be the way that it is. I mean, that's not a prevalent way. That's a deceiving way to really be, some of this breaking news and this news that I've been seeing is like, man, it's outrageous. You can find out more at www.facebook.com/CJC Hood News. You can go see it for yourself. I got some stuff that maybe you was up on and stuff that you don't know nothing about. It's like outrageous. And I'm dedicating myself to this, is plus as well as we got the CJC Hood News, individual home and businesses, little security service that I'm starting up, as well. A new initiative, trying to be a creator who can create what's creative at the same time. So if anybody, particularly needs those services, I've gotten some comments particularly on that, regarding that. So I believe it was a great initiative, because you never know when you face with a particular situation, and what I want to know is this, if you know somebody that's in that state of mind, try to relieve them and calm them down, with it. But I know some people just go on and they discover their own self, man. And I've been hearing it, I've been seeing it. I know it to be what it is. People do what they have to do for a particular season, but we still have to have enough mercy and prayer for them, because they don't know better at those times and seasons. And so, what I've been doing for the last 2 weeks or so has been trying to put you up on what you didn't know beforehand. I wasn't really doing too much of the CJC Hood News at that time, but I've done enough at the moment to kind of keep you updated, so you can always stay updated at www.CJC-Hood-News. www.facebook.com/CJC-Hood-News. A correction on that. So it's www.facebook.com/CJC-Hood-News. And that's basically not, particularly for me to try to keep it to the point that it's so hood that it's, that I got to do everything, particularly in a hood mannerism, but trying to come back to the people that, I grew up around or came up with and came out from amongst, to bring them some information that can educate them so they can decipher if they want to go down that road or not, or to be aware of this, or to be educated about that. That's what the CJC Hood News platform is all about, to kind of educate you and to help you also better yourself and see how you can be a better way of being a part of the solution and not a part of the problem. Not a part of the problem, excuse me. But one of the things that we have to really consider is like some of the motivation and the motives behind some of the movements that like take place, man. A lot of them are like self-goal oriented, and it's like for a particular season, it's not like really trying to be there for one another, in that capacity, but manipulation is used, tactics and schemes and plots are being used. So that's where it's at nowadays. On the up and up. So that's why I created the CJC Hood News, pretty much to take it to the people in the hood, in a whole nother aspect and everything, to let them know, look, you've been here, but here's a way of escape from what it is that you've been in. You don't have to stay particularly the way that you in, but you have a chance to get out of the strong delusion, man. Break them strongholds, dude. Even though it's there for you to do it, you don't have to go that way. You have to not put yourself in that particular arena for those consequences to come up on you. And what most people do is they try to provoke you, and it's like that all around across the board in the hood. You got some older people that act like kids sometimes, concerning some of the things that we go through. Some of them still ain't to tell the other people to pull up their pants. They got their pants pulled down. So they set an example, and to talk about, to come up on another level, they got to come up on another level. Ain't nobody gonna tell me, that ain't really changed their life, how to, put me on this, that, and the other. You can't put me on to none of that stuff. And that's what you have to make your mind up in these days that we live in. That you can't put me up on that. I don't care what you say. I don't care what the word is, this, that, and the other, on what you think, but it's only what God is prescribing. And that doesn't make me particularly religious or religion. That just make me stay with God. That don't make me, know him for myself, to do that work that way he called me to do it. Rather I have to walk this road. Sometimes when God has given you purpose and destiny, sometimes you have to walk it alone. But that don't mean that you become brutish and soddy daisy or anything of that nature. But you learn how to make it, with God for real, not the gods that other people do, because they form their own gods. They say, what, God is this, that, and other. But I'm talking about the God that give you protection. I ain't talking about the God that got you doing all that other stuff, because you do got people that got you at the silver, gold, and everything else, and they call that the supreme, because it's in position. But guess what? It don't communicate back with you. The God of the universe, he gives you inspiration of the Almighty. He teach you all things. That stuff don't teach you all things, and that's the truth of the fact of the matter, that's not what educates you and uplifts you. It is God who uplifts you and inspires you. It's the inspiration of the Almighty. Job 32:8 said, but there is a spirit in man. See, there's a spirit in man, and the inspiration of the Almighty giving him understanding. So if there's a spirit in man and the inspiration of the Almighty giving him understanding, then that's what you got to, receive at that moment. That, hey, there's a spirit in man and the inspiration of the Almighty give you understanding. Now, just because I know that doesn't make me traditional, religious, sanctimonious, or nothing. That just make me a believer of God that want to just do something special for God. Since in that case, he gave his only begotten son, I believe he should have his people without wrinkle, spot, or blemish, and united instead of discord. You see what I'm saying? So in the seasons that we in,